What did he say?
Hey, we're live. Oh. How we doing, everybody? Hello from Michigan. You guys are probably locked up pretty hard up there with ice, aren't you? I mean, I found some open water today, last couple days, but it's still a struggle. Just haven't been able to get the sets out that I want. It's hard when you can't see any sign of anything moving because nothing's moving yet. Graham Hilton, Indianola, Iowa. Heck, you're pretty close to me, bud. Northeast Iowa, Ontario, Canada. Wow. What's up, Dan? Hey, I'm up 2,600 followers. That's crazy, guys. I never thought I'd get to this point. Okay. Northwest Missouri. Just starting to freeze up. Yeah, Hunter, I heard that up there in Pennsylvania. I got a buddy of mine that traps up there, and he's trying to catch a bunch of fox right now, and he said you guys just got hammered with snow the other day. We're starting to get more fox around here, though. Our numbers are definitely getting a lot better than they were 4 or 5 years ago. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Oh man, I can't believe how much this page is growing. I really thought it'd just be a small thing around here, but definitely a lot bigger than I expected it to get. So I'm trying to figure out, guys, because I can see your comments on my actual main screen now, but they're real small, and I only see like 2 or 3 at a time. So bear with me for a little bit here. I'm gonna trying to work this out and see what I can figure out. Oh, you getting more bobcats in Ohio, Michael? Yeah, it took Iowa a long time to get a season here. And that's one thing that really our DNR needs to watch, because there are so many now. When I'm going after coyotes, I'm catching more bobcats than coyotes. It's crazy. I mean, just crazy. Bobcats and coyotes. All right, cool. Now I can see comments a little better here, fellas. So, yeah, man, I'm hungry for trapping videos. I'm trying to do my best putting stuff out here, guys. I did this mostly for people to learn. I learned, I'm pretty self-taught, but I learned a lot from watching DVDs and stuff like that. And last year when I hit 1,082, so many people were telling me, oh, it must be nice not to have a family or kids or anything, or it must be nice not to have a job, things like that. And it's like, I have both, and I just want to teach people you can do anything you want if you have the drive. And I'm not going to lie, right now I'm struggling with it myself. It's pretty rough right now, but we got to push through it. We're going to break through that barrier here pretty soon. I don't know when or how, but it's going to happen. It's frustrating when you put out so many sets and you're only getting, 1 or 2 coon. It's pretty discouraging day to day for sure. West Indiana. Yeah, that sucks with your guys' bobcat season, guys. I mean, I'm assuming you guys just don't have a great population of them right now. Iowa, we didn't have anything, and then they opened it up to 1 bobcat for like the bottom 2 tiers for 4 or 5 years, I think it was. And they finally brought the tiers up higher of counties in the state. And now we're allowed 3 a year, but we just need to open it up. I mean, there's so many here. They just need to keep it open. Graham getting DPs cleaned out by mice. That's a struggle that we all have, buddy. What I've actually been taught from a guy not too long ago was take that trap and move it 5, 10, 15 feet down the trail. On the road ditches, I'm pretty limited to my space. But if you're on private ground, go 20 yards down there. It seems like it almost confuses the mice for a while. They'll pick it up again and they'll find it. But, it's something that works for me. On my gravel road trap line that I have here, if I get really nervous, which generally I don't do it too much, like you've seen probably in some of my videos, I heap that sucker up with cat food. It is spilling out. This will buy me 2 or 3 days most of the time. If it doesn't, then I'll go to taking like a angled sharp rock off the gravel road and putting it in there, only filling it half with dog food. Those mice and stuff can't get around the rock and they can't pull it up. So something to think about and try. I mean, any idea could work. First year trapping and you're catching possums. What are you using for bait, Steven? What kind of a setup do you got? You using dog proofs, footholds? Hey, thanks, Sam Evans. I appreciate it, bud. Yeah, I'm trying to help out guys and trying to get some input myself. I'm learning a lot just from the people that have reached out to me. It's doing great. Wow, you have a limit of 20 bobcats. I wish they'd let us do that. Really, Coffee Outdoors. Only using Dunlap Smoky Fish, huh? I've heard it works. I know a lot of guys that use it with great success. Oh yeah, Darren. I'm sure. Yeah, I know a lot of coon hunters anymore. The few coon hunters we got anymore, they treat a lot of cats. Uh, but then again, we don't have the coon hunters we used to. I mean, there's not many trappers left around. Footholds with apples and corn. Okay, Steven, give me a little more on that one. Are you using with a foothold? Are you in the water? Are you on land? Are you making like cubby sets out of wood? Uh, Kind of give me some more input of what you're working with there, bud. It's gonna be an early morning tomorrow. I gotta be at work at 6:45. The way I looked at it today, we took us about 2 hours to run traps, and we didn't catch a lot. And I can't bank on having that bad of a day, so uh, I'm gonna plan on 3 hours to run the line plus a half hour to get to work. I'm gonna be leaving the house before 3 o'clock, so it's gonna be a rough one. Along coon trails on drain, Steven. Okay. I'm kind of intrigued on what you're trying to work with here. Hey, there you go. Good go, Coffee. Way to get out there. You know it's a struggle right now. I mean, just nothing's moving, so it's hard to push yourself harder and keep going. It's a struggle. Sam, today makes 766. So that one coon got us to there today. Uh, Not what I was wanting. I didn't get the sets out I wanted to yesterday, but I was still hoping for 5 to 7. Just didn't happen. I did realize though we got a lot more deer hunters second season around than we used to. Normally I don't worry hunt, so that's kind of a struggle. Oh, there you go, Darren. Yeah, I caught a nice coyote today. He's pretty kind of foul caught. Wasn't exactly the best thing to film, so I figured I better not. We do the best we can to make everything as ethical and clean as we can, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way. And then in the off season, all the fur that I got will be put up by me. Actually, that's what I'm starting to do in the shop a little. Death threats to the family and whatnot, and I'm not too worried about reading into them too much, but I think I'm going to leave it there. There's no reason to get too personal with it. Yeah, fur prices aren't great, guys. It's just, it is what it is. Find your markets. There's more than just the fur on these guys. East of Maryville. Oh, yeah, Darren, if you're east of Maryville, I know where Maryville's at. You're not too terribly far from me. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, buddy. Uh, I'm trying, man. It's it's a struggle right now. I got thinking, too. We haven't had any of our late 2 o'clock night phone calls of talking trapping with me a little more intoxicated than you were by far, but we need to have that again. We need to talk trapping again, Ryan. It's been a while. No, nope. Nope, not me, Britain. Hillbilly Trapper, West Virginia. I know you guys have raccoons down there, but how big are they? I know we're probably a little bit better size than yours, but you know what? It's crazy the difference from the northern states, middle, and southern states. Not just with raccoons, but everything. I mean, you look at our deer here in Iowa compared to a Texas deer in Rockport. Teresa on my wall. Oh shoot, I got a real pretty skunk, beaver, coon. Pretty much, this is the room that holds all my fur in here. Uh, Actually, I'll try to do a little video, so bear with me here. Over here, we got first. Oop. Over here, we got first badger. We got an otter, and that's my second bobcat. Up there on the wall, my very first mink and just a muskrat. Back over here, we got a nice red fox and a nice coyote. So it's actually my wife's office. She's allowing me to use it right now since she doesn't have any schoolwork to do right now. Wow, 25, 20. So you guys got a pretty good sized coon down there then. I thought West Virginia had a little smaller, but that's a pretty good sized coon. Really, you're tanning them with vinegar? Huh, that's something interesting. I've never heard of that. Yeah, Graham, a skunk with no stripes. The big money skunks are your big white stripes. Uh, Generally, those are the ones that are doing a lot better. You might be able to get a solid black one, maybe to a taxidermy market. He might like it. Yeah, Ryan, I'm pretty sure neither one of us knew what the other one was saying after a certain point of that conversations. Can do if they want to, and it's hard to do that when I'm struggling myself with it, but I really hope people are picking up, ideas or tricks or techniques. It wasn't that many years ago that if you were trapped any type of numbers at all, you kept your mouth shut and you didn't tell anybody. You wouldn't even tell your own kids until you decided to quit trapping. So oh yeah, Hillbilly Trapper, yeah, I take all the S and Z. They're kind of similar to the Z traps, except they were pull only, which I prefer. I want pull only traps. I think I'm right around ever sold elsewhere were some Z traps that were in there because I do not like the push pull. Other than that, I don't like to part with much. Samuel Evans' favorite coon trap. That's tough, man. I mean, everything has their place. When I first learned how to trap, I was a coil spring pocket set guy, but that's all I knew. I didn't know about these dry land trails, these high banks, all these things that they're running onto. So dog proofs, they're the most versatile for sure. But I still love my 220s because it's dry, it's already dead. It's just it's great. I mean, you can't beat it. You get nice dry fluffy fur. Don't have to worry about dispatching it, no blood. Skins out easy. It's great. Huh. Britton, that's interesting. I like that. To tan, soak half vinegar, half water for 3 days. That's interesting. I've never heard of that. They do it. I think a lot of it has to do with food. If you have open water, they can get to frogs or small fish. Most are not today anymore, but most of the fields, when it's that cold, are froze down. They have snow or ice on them. And if that is the reason, it makes sense to me, because they can't sit there and dig through snow and ice all night long trying to get to a piece of corn when they can just go to open water and find fish and frogs. If you look close, I even noticed it today on the pond that I was trapping where I got some otter sets. There's still frogs and stuff swimming up to the bank under the ice even. So and they're moving slow, so it's easy pickings. Do I set any outbuildings? Not really, just because I stick to the roads. If I was going out onto private stuff, I've got a couple I probably could. If they weren't like 10, 15 miles out of my way, I'd definitely do it. But it's just, you got to justify your time and your gas and your energy. And that's, going to kill a half hour going out of my way that far. But if I could loop it into my route somewhere, absolutely. Oh, man, I was really hoping to have a lot higher numbers than that right now. Like I said, I think before, last year on December 1, I was at 913. So it's a bit of a struggle, but we're going to get there. Let's just keep pushing and keep finding locations. That's the thing that's hurting me the most right now, is finding more ground that's hasn't been trapped. I know of some that I'm saving for rut yet that nobody's on, but it's just trying to get there. Yeah, Michael, I've heard of the daytime calling. I've never done it yet. I need to. Actually, last year my wife got me a brand new Fox Pro call for Christmas, and I never got the time to use it. Good denning area and sit tight and call, and they just come a helling out of those trees. Like I said, I've never done it, so I couldn't give you much feedback on it, but it looks like fun. Our season ends January 31st, so we got just over a month yet. I'm really looking forward to the rut season. My best year in the rut season, I did 283, and that was mid-season techniques, which I'm still struggling with, trap it over the years, and look forward to sharing some of that, because that's some fun trapping. Yeah, Ryan, and how you can get that many denned up in there. Hudson, what's up, bud? Oh, shoot. So we got 234 to go. That's gonna it's gonna be an uphill climb, fellas, but you guys are pushing me, and that's what I need. I need to find the drive again. I preach it all the time, and now it's my turn to get it back. But like I said, it's just all about ground. I got to find ground. And, a lot of these spots that I'm trapping now were actually on my main road line. But I've told you so many times how I skip over water, and I don't like water. Now I'm going back to the water. Most of these locations are set specifically. Now where I skipped all those bridges, now I'm setting specifically those bridges. Coon activity is going to be hitting the water soon. It should be there now. It's just, it's challenging right now, because you got to predict where they're going to be. If a coon hasn't moved yet, and I experienced this last year a lot, late season when they started rutting. I think it was last year, it might have been 2 years ago. It was cold. I mean, it was really cold. And we had some snow on the ground, and there's nothing moving. But we had the next day was like a high of like 42. So it's snow, thinking this is just terrible idea. No tracks, no sign, no nothing. Nothing's come through here in a month. And all of a sudden, boom, I'm picking up coon. It worked out that well. But it's tough right now. Mid-season, I'm not that greatest with. It's definitely a challenging point for me. But everyone keeps telling me find water, find water. I hear it on here. Some people that message me on Facebook, and some of since I'm going more to the water, I'm making more fish sticks, more pocket sets. Definitely will increase my chances of picking up mink. We only got 2 this year, but like I said, I'm not big on water. I've tried to avoid it this whole season, and I think that's catching up to me now because now it's unavoidable. So I just, the water's fatiguing. I shouldn't say that necessarily, but those bridges, those tall, deep structures, they just wear you out. And my first route this year, I think we're up to like 250 locations, and that's skipping over all the big bridges. And I'm not a little fella. I was 240 pounds start of season, but I'm down to 226 now. So I lost 14 pounds so far, but I'm sure I'll find it back in the off season. I tend to always do. Yeah, Michael. I don't know if I. Yeah, you can't hunt over feed for deer here in Iowa. So if you have a feeder, you're not allowed to hunt anywhere. And that's the thing, though, is that my coon line just died about, I want to say November 18th, I think was the magical number. I moved some fresh ground, added fresh sets, no trappers, and I just was not catching the fur that I should be on that first check. And it just progressed throughout the rest of the check and setting more traps. I really weird. And he's froze up hard, and he's opening up water to put in pocket sets, and he didn't even start 2 weeks of hitting up some real numbers. He missed that time, and he broke 500 already. So he knows a lot more about this than I do, and he's pretty much strictly water trapping. Yeah, he's got some DPs and stuff, but he's going after crick systems, and that's they're there. The fur's there for sure. Hmm. Kenneth, that's an interesting idea. I never heard of that. I never would have thought of it either. Hmm. Well, tell me, guys, what's your thoughts right now? What do you think of this season so far? I know I'm falling a little short right now, trying to find the motivation, but what are things that you've liked, you didn't like? I talked to the wife a little bit earlier about this, and I think I'm going to go ahead and keep filming next year too. Uh, we're going to keep this series going for as long as people want to see it, I guess. Like I said, I really thought this was going to be a local thing to help out. If I had 1 to 200 viewers or subscribers, I was going to be pretty shocked by that. Just trying to help out a few local guys, and this page is really blown up. So I appreciate that and appreciate all the positive feedback, guys. So just let me know. Give me some feedback of what you're thinking so far, or something coming down the road that you'd be interested in. I know last time we talked about what's out there, but I'm going to try for 50. I'm going to do some filming on turtle trapping this year too. I do a little bit of turtle trapping in the summer. Mostly part of my ADC job I do. People snapping turtles in their pond, they want them out, whatnot. But I'm going to be doing some of that. It's kind of fun. I'm enjoying filming all this. But at the same time, it's a lot of work. Coming home at the end of the day, trying to help with the family, worried about the fur sitting in the shed. If I got to get skinned, then I got to download all the clips that I have and figure out which ones are appropriate or which ones I messed up on, and put them all together, download them. It's worth it. It's definitely fun. It really makes me feel good hearing that, when someone says, hey, I picked up this idea from you, and that's awesome. And it makes me feel good. It keeps me motivated to keep doing this. And that's the whole reason I'm doing this, to show you guys my line. Some of the things might not work for you, and they might. Pick and choose what works for you. We all have our own techniques and our own things that we're not going to change on for sure. Yeah, Dennis Carter for sure. It's 2020. It's been a year. You can say that. Jonathan, what's the best kind of a setup? Kind of explain your area to me. What that exact set was set up on. First Brothers Outdoors, how we doing? That's one thing I'm gonna do a lot more of this year. Is I think late season try setting a little more blind 1.5 sets. I haven't done a whole lot of that recently. I got a buddy of mine not far from here. He has great success with it. I think he got it from Trapper J. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's who he said he got it from. So it's something I definitely need to check out and do a little more of. Matter of fact, we just did our first one yesterday. I blind set a 1.5 for an actual otter going over a pond dam. So hopefully that picks up and pans out for us, but who knows? It's trapping, you're never guaranteed anything. It's just like hunting. I was big into bow hunting before I got into trapping. And what I've learned, you cannot fully commit yourself to both. I have a good buddy of mine here, just north of me, about 5 miles. He got into trapping. He rode with me a couple times last year and 2 years ago. This year he decided he's going to get out a dozen dog proofs. And before the season got here, he was up to like 150 traps because he was just getting so excited. But then he's got that buck to kill. And I told him, you can't fully commit yourself to both. I mean, you really have to pick one. It's just you can do both of them if you're doing them both small and kind of part-time. But I know a lot of guys that are big bow hunters, they really, if you're a big bow hunter, you fully commit. You're taking weeks vacation to sit in a tree for 10, 12 hours during the day. And I get it, believe me. But you can't do that and go out and check 100 traps or 200 traps that evening too, in my opinion. I mean, maybe some guys have a lot more drive than I do, but I couldn't do it. So I kind of had to pick. I really wish I'd get back into bow hunting at least early October and try to kill a deer, but I get so... By mid-September, actually about convention season, the Iowa Trapping Convention, that's kind of my light switch. It's time to go. It's time to get going. Time to get traps cleaned up. Trying to get, check all my tags, and just get all my pogos ready. It's game on. There's no time for bow hunting or anything like that. But I appreciate the comment, man. It's fun, obviously. Randy. I don't know, man. He's a good guy. I've met him before in person. He's a good guy. It's just one of those things, I guess I could say I just worry about me and I try to help out when I can. But if people don't want to help out, don't want to take the advice, that's totally up to them, It's one of those things. Okay, so it looks like, Michael, you're having some kind of an issue with the, what I call the crap. Hey, Kirsch, you caught 2 fox this week? Red or grays? Todd, you set out some Fisher sets. I'll tell you what, man. I have a small pocket of gray fox located. They're both red. A bunch of them on trail cam on videos. And he films his deer hunts too, late season. Late muzzleloader season. He could have shot this gray fox. It was 10 feet from his blind. He showed me videos. He gave me permission. I can go there January 10th when he's done deer hunting. But they haven't... I'm not real familiar with gray fox, but they all tell me that it's super small track, a lot smaller than a red. And, it's actually the one time in my life, this has been probably 14 years ago, I found a dead gray fox along the highway right there. So that was pretty cool. So I know they're in the area. He has footage of them last year, and I found what I believe to be several crossings of them right there. So I'm excited for that. If I catch a gray fox, that'd be the highlight of my trapping career because they're just not around here. I had a good buddy of mine that I'm not going to experiment with them this year, and I'm going to go after them. I'm sorry. The set I experimented with this year is that fiberglass rod with the hag system on it. It's got the 2 prongs for your trap to sit on, and then it's got another 2 prongs up here for a bait holder. I'm putting a 1.5 coil spring on it, and on oil. Bruce Rhodes, Hemo Rolls. I simply put a 1.5 along the bank, and I put a It keeps freezing up on us, huh? Let me know, guys. Is there a bunch of you having that problem or not? I don't know why it would be on my end, but then again, I am not a computer, guys, at all. Computers are not my thing. Hey, hold on just a second, guys. We're going to try and work something out. Hey, Jen. They say it keeps freezing up on them. Would that be anything from my... What? Everyone keeps saying it's freezing up on them.
Are you using your cell phone at all?
Yeah, but it's not on Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna use your phone.
All right, guys. I'm gonna chat.
I don't know. Okay, you're good.
All right, we're good now.
Let me know.
Wife to the rescue. What's
What is it looking? Oh, it's because the screen is the wrong way.
Oh, the screen's the wrong way. Hey, there we go. Wife to the rescue. Absolutely. All right, guys. So basically, I think what just happened was our actual home internet is very slow. We actually turned on my wife's phone to make it a hotspot, I guess. Apparently that does better. Eric, I wish he was in here right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to go scream at her. Hey, Eric. Hey, honey. Eric read your book and loved it. Yeah, Eric, you just made her day, bud. She takes a lot of pride in making those books and stuff, so... Yeah, I'm pretty proud of her, too. She's definitely a lot smarter than me. I just trap stuff and drive a forklift for a living, so... She's the intelligent one. All right, Bucky, it's a little better? Good. I got thinking about that, too. Well, I didn't think about it. My wife did, but I'm going to take credit for it. When we're out in the garage the other day, our internet here in the house doesn't reach that far, so we had to use my phone as a hotspot. Now we're using her phone in here, so it should be a lot better. How we doing, Josiah? So I noticed a lot of guys on here, like Kirsch Outdoors, Josiah Outdoors. What is a lot of other people filming? Are they doing? You guys doing mostly like deer hunting type stuff, fishing, just 4-wheeling? What kind of things you guys got going on? Believe it or not, before filming this thing, I was not a huge YouTuber. Actually, I was not even planning on doing this at all until I had a buddy of mine not too far from me. I'm on here. He's No Name Trapper. He kind of pushed me to do it. I wasn't going to film this year. I kind of went back and forth on it. And finally, I changed my mind to where I'm just not doing it. And he convinced me to do it. He pushed me to do it, and I'm kind of glad I did. I've got a lot of good feedback from this. So, oh, you're doing trapping right now? Okay, I'll subscribe to you, buddy. Oh, you got a video coming out tomorrow? Good. Okay, sorry, Michael. That was our issue. I apologize for that. Uh, so it sounds like you're having an issue with them around your catch circle or crop circle, as I call it, whatever you title it. Uh, that's weird. I've never had an issue with that with dog proofs. Um, I don't really know what would cause that. But if you can, I would say just keep moving that trap down the creek. That kind of baffles me. I don't know. I don't know why that would be. Is it really really soft mud? Like, are they really really getting muddy down there? That's the bad thing about water trapping, man. Everything's covered in mud, and I hate mud. That's why, notice in my videos, pretty much everything's pretty high and dry. Once in a while, you get one that's kind of soupy or kind of muddy, but I just don't care for that type of stuff. No, that's not for me. But it's going to be now. That's where the Coon are going to be moving at, so. Yeah, I'm looking forward to late season. I mean, that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try out some of that Boar's Delight. I actually just got it in the mail. I ordered it from Alan up there at Funky's, and that stuff came 2 days later. And I'm looking forward to trying some of that. Oh yeah, Gunner Air. Yep, Big T on Iowa forums. Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing to look at too. I learned a lot of my information off of the Iowa Trapper Talk forums, iowatrappertalk.com, guys. And for me here, obviously I'm from Iowa, so it's a lot of local knowledge. But there's guys from other states on there too. Very informative, some great wealth of knowledge, and guys willing to help you out. And I would strongly recommend, if you want to learn a lot of stuff, go to their archives and just check everything out. It's awesome. Kirsch furs I have on the wall. I've got a little bit of everything. That is actually a 76-pound beaver, believe it or not. That's the biggest one I ever caught. Over here, got my first badger, just a nice otter, and a bobcat. Right there would be my first mink and just the muskrat. Back over here, we got a nice fox, and then just a nice coyote. So this is actually my wife's den area here. So she does all her homework here on the computer since she's going back to school and stuff. And, I get to decorate it, I guess. So she has to live with me being around. Yeah, Michael, one thing I do, I don't film any of my dispatches. I'm sure most of you guys can understand why. As soon as I've dispatched that animal, I basically get right on it. That animal is out, the trap is rebaited, and that animal is still moving by the time I get that trap rebaited. And it's still moving by the time I head to the truck. Blood, I've had blood soaked those dog proofs and still catch something the next day. At least around here it doesn't bother them, but that's really weird. I'm kind of curious. If you ever do find an answer on that, I'd like to know it, because that's troubling me. I don't know why that would be. Alex, I switched to pogos for a lot of reasons. One, I can make a pogo anchor quite literally in about 20 seconds. I can do all this stuff without having a welder here, and so much lighter. If I'm setting out 300 traps, 300 stakes in the back of the truck, it's going to be quite the weight. And at the same time, if they did get frozen, all I have to do is cut them. Versus if you have a rebar freeze in, you might be in trouble. Generally, you can pound them out, but it's just something that it's a personal thing, I guess. Everything has its pros and cons. I'm sure you understand that. Hey, thanks, Kirsch. Appreciate it, bud. Shane, all my furs that I have tanned go to Sleepy Creek Tannery. Can't think of the town that he's at. Ben Dieters owns it. It's up in, oh shoot. It's central Iowa. I think it's east central Iowa. But he does a phenomenal job. I mean, awesome. He gets all my work. Anything I get tanned goes to him. Also a good guy at the trapping conventions. Have a few beers with. Although a few times he may have given me a few too many, and I may have made an ass out of myself a few times, but that's all right. There's a few pictures floating around that I'm sure at the national convention this year will get shared with people, but it's all in fun, all a good time. All right, thanks, Eric. Yeah, everything, these populations, they got to be managed. And, as much as I appreciate all the positive feedback, I'm getting a lot of people messaging me, telling me that's pointless. That's a $2 animal, or there's no value. That's a waste of time. And if you're viewing it as a waste of time, only doing it for the money, you're in it for the wrong reason. Yeah, I plan to make a profit this year, and I will. I already know I will. But I'm not doing it strictly for that. Love trapping. If fur was worth basically nothing, I still would have out of line. Probably not going after 1,000 of them, but I will trap till the day I die. And until no matter what, it's in my blood. Even if that's 2 or 3 traps a year, when I'm 80, I'm still gonna do it no matter what. Yeah, Gunner Air. I've heard that. I've heard the red fox lure or gland lure, coyote lure, gland lure. All that stuff is really good. So I'm really looking forward to trying this late season thing. And lures out. I'm still gonna stick with my cat food for a base, I think. But I've got a few other things I'm gonna experiment with. Yeah, Shane. Look him up. Sleepy Creek Tannery. He's got a website and everything. Hey, thanks, Josiah. Yeah, I do a lot of trapping here in Iowa. Try to help share with people what I know, which probably isn't always a good thing, but oh, you worried about the driver getting plugged up with mud? Yeah, honestly, I've never even cared if that washer won't go in there. I'll just take it and pound it on something hard real quick, and it'll force whatever's in there out. It works pretty good for me. Yeah, Gunner Air. I'll tell you what, Wayne is one of the people that I really view to high standards. That man has taught me a lot from both just me messaging him personally and just what I followed him on the Iowa Trapper Talk. He is one of those guys that when he was trapping coon in his slowest years would have ran circles around me. I mean, just a true raccoon trapper. Logan, set near dentries. That's, those boars are looking for one thing, and we all know what that is. So they're traveling. Think of it as deer during the rut. They're looking for females, and they're going to go find them pretty much regardless. So, there's going to be trails that they're going to go to the denning areas. Most of my spots then are timber to timber locations because, the boar's coming out of a den and he's trying to find females. They're avoiding pretty much, I want to say avoiding, but they're not going to cornfields or bean fields or anything like that. You might pick them up on fence lines as they're headed towards a denning area, things like that. Wellsburg. Yep, you're right. Yep, Wellsburg, Iowa. That's where Ben at Sleepy Creek is. Yeah, Josiah, they do. Everything needs to be managed, and like I mentioned a little earlier, I think distemper's hitting pretty hard this year. I've had a lot of guys tell me they're starting to find a lot of dead stuff floating around too, so it's tough, no one's out trapping or hunting furs anymore, so the populations are going to explode. Here in Iowa recently, as 2 years ago, we had disease go through and kill out a good chunk of our deer herds. There was people finding 15 to 20 dead deer in their ponds because that's the disease made them thirsty before they died. And it wiped out a pretty good chunk. We're still recovering up here where I live too. So it's just everything has to be managed. Otherwise, Mother Nature is going to run its course. And Mother Nature, she can be a real not very friendly person. Austin, yeah, I do get a lot of calls. I shouldn't say a lot of calls, but I do animal damage control all summer long. So legally, I can trap a nuisance animal through the summer. I'm always getting calls of groundhogs or raccoon in an attic or in their trash cans or in their barn, stuff like that. Michael, I'm using that 177, 1,200 feet per second pellet gun. I can't even think of what it is that I'm using. And it's just like a, excuse me, like a, the ones I really liked were called like a piranha pellet. I think Crossman made them. Those really, really worked pretty well for me. Kellen, I'm doing the same thing I did last year. There's two things that I think are mostly impacting me. I should say really one right now. Well, two. I think distemper is kind of hitting us a little bit harder than a lot of people realize. But last year, when I hit 1,082, I had 913 by December 1. But a lot of my, I filmed this on the wrong year. My crop rotation, because certain areas, I only trap the whole section when it's going to corn on, say, the even or the odd year, whichever. My line is about a 60-40 or like a 70-30. And this year, that 70% was more beans, or 60%. Next year, it's going to go to corn. Corn are your bread and butter when it comes to raccoon trapping. So, a lot of that opens up. I probably have another 30 miles of line that I never touched this year early in the year because it was all going to beans. And you can still pick up coon going to beans, but it's not going to be near the quantity. It's just not nearly as appealing to the raccoons, especially when basically how it is, you got timber over here with corn going to beans. They're not going to leave this section when their denning area, their food, and their water's down in the ditch. Why would they go over here to beans? Next year, when they got timber and water, and this is corn, they have to cross this road. So when they cross the road, that's when I intercept them. So, a lot of those spots with the odd crop rotation, they're not worth it for me to go down. Hey, Kellen Smith, you're 8 years old, getting your own traps tomorrow. Hey, welcome to the trapping club, buddy. That's exciting. There's a wealth of knowledge out there on YouTube and stuff. Whatever your parents allow you to watch and get on. Soak it up. Be a sponge, buddy. That stuff, it's fun. It's an addiction. And I hope you have a good time with it. I don't know if you probably don't have Facebook by any means yet. But, if you ever have any questions, have one of your parents look me up, Iowa Trapper on Facebook. I'd be happy to help you with any questions that I can. Logan, you got 2 dog proofs. Where I buy my dog proofs, everything I buy, I should say everything, 90% of the stuff I buy comes from the trapping conventions. This year is actually the National Trapping Convention is up in Spencer, Iowa this year. I'll be there it's a 3-day event, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll be up there either Tuesday night or Wednesday to help set stuff up for it. All your conventions, you can pretty much figure at least 10% off their cover price across everything. And all my stuff comes from there. I bank up money all year long just to go to that. HD Lori, you're 11 years old and caught a fox. I'll tell you what, you're growing up to be a lot better trapper than I am because I didn't catch a fox till I was 21 probably. Austin, so how I got started trapping, my dad was a big bird hunter. We guided bird hunters across the state of Iowa. We had some awesome bird dogs. We're doing a hunt down in Creston for some guys, and one of the guys that was also hired to help with us was a 16-year-old kid. And at the time, I think it was 12 or 13, but he had 3 raccoons in the back of his truck when he showed up yesterday. Or not yesterday, when he showed up that day. And I was kind of blown away by him. Like, how do you catch raccoons? And I started asking about it. He goes, oh, I got a trap line on the way here. And kind of, I thought about it. And that summer, finally, I went out to our Coast to Coast here in town, which is like just a farm store. And I bought 3 1.5s. And I'd walk behind my dad's place all the time just to go check these things. An unmodified 1.5. I made sticks into a cubby set with a piece of deer fat in the back of it. And after like 2 weeks, I caught a possum, and I thought that was so cool. The next year, I caught a few muskrats out of a pond, and then I caught a first coon the next year, and I've just blown up ever since then. So I definitely started small and not knowing what I was doing at all, but I've learned a lot just from people willing to share their thoughts, as well as DVD series that I've purchased. They're awesome. Hey, Dusty, you can be at the NTA? Yeah, I'll be there, man. It's in July, so if you see a guy running around in a cut-off shirt with probably this hat on, it's me. Yeah, Shane, Sleepy Creek Tannery out of Wellsburg, I think they said. Williams, yeah, Wellsburg. Samuel, yeah, Logan answered it for you. All I'm using is cat food. Cat food and all my dog proofs. My pockets and my fish stick stuff, now I'm switching to more of a fishy bait. As they go to water, they're looking more for the fishy type stuff. Gonna run to the bathroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, guys. Weasels, there's weasels around, just not that many. Michael, roadways here in Iowa, you have 33 feet from the center of the road, roughly. There's some variances to that. Basically, to the fence or power pole is pretty much what I go by. Hey, just checking in. How's my feed coming through, guys, now? Is it a lot better now that I switched to a phone with a hotspot? Just making sure it's not all sketchy for you guys. Sorry about that earlier. Kellen, I posted a video today, bud. I set out some traps on Friday. Didn't have a great day, but caught a coyote and a coon today. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the response there. Yeah, Cody, I got a few traps out. Monday I put out a few snares on my work line. Didn't catch anything in them until today. So, oh, you, you like him? Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty busted up, but he'd been a pretty good one other than that. Yeah, Dusty, I can help you with that to an extent. The issue with that is I know my one GPS that I have, and there's a reason I only have the one because I've tried like two or three others, and they were just too complicated for me. I am not a computer guy at all, fellas. I mean, I am literally technology dumb. My wife set all this up. She's the brains of this operation. But, I'd be happy to show you how I run my setups and everything on my GPS and how I mark it for sure. Kellen, I'm in Iowa. I'm not going to go into any more depth than that, bud, just for safety purposes. You're a young kid, and you probably don't understand all this, but there's a lot of people that don't like trappers and the way trapping is. They view it as cruel and inhumane, and just people that are uneducated about it. They don't know what's going on, and for that reason, when they see someone trapping or hunting, they can do some bad things. They can threaten them. They can do some pretty bad things. So I'm not gonna give my exact location, as I don't need anybody showing up at my door threatening my family or anything like that. Farm, yeah, people have told me about the fish pellets. I've had a lot of people comment on that now. I'm going to look it up next year. Someone said they're right at, what they say, $15 for 50-pound bag or something like that, $20 maybe. I'm going to look into it a little bit next year, probably dab into it, start small. But, it's something worth looking into. My cat food, I'm getting, I think it's 40 pounds for $15. So pretty good success with it. And I'm not going to say, it's not one of those things where I'm going to fully commit and jump in. But I'll dabble into it a little bit, and check it out and see what I think for sure. Yeah, Michael, I got to put here in Iowa, you have to have your name and address on all your traps, which in my opinion is a bad thing because anybody can look that up. They can tamper with your traps, which is illegal, actually. I wish the DNR would let us put our DNR number, our license number on it, so that just the DNR officer could look it up and see what's going on. But unfortunately, it's not that way. Did you, Cody? That's good. I saw a little bit of sign today. Pick up on those ice ledges. You can tell where they're going from the soft mud onto the ice for a little bit, but nothing great by any means. Okay, Kellen. So your dad's a trapper. Okay, that makes sense. Now I know where you got your passion for it from. That's pretty good. 4 coyotes in a day in a row. That's pretty awesome. Okay, Michael. So the fish food, it draws moisture and it'll stick to the. Okay, that's good information, guys. That's why I want to know. Kirsch, I wish we could, man. That'd be awesome. Man, I wish. Doctor Strange, yeah, we got a coon and a coyote today. Nothing great, but it was a rough day for the traps I put out yesterday. It's pretty tough. Yeah, Gunner Air, I 100% agree with you. Our DNR number, that'd be the best way to go, so you don't have someone looking up your name and address, and you have to worry about anything happening at your own home property. Yeah, Logan, give it a try. Uh, I road trap, so everything's public, but I personally am not too worried about people seeing my stuff. You know, I don't get too worried about it. Yeah, Curtis, I actually have not tried that. I know a lot of people do. Uh, here's my take on things with stuff like that, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but most of the year I run a pretty considerable amount of traps. That first month I'll have out anywhere between 200 to 400 roughly. I got to be quick and I got to be fast. I if I catch a coon in a dog proof, by the time I open that door to the time I shut it, you're looking at, I'm going to say 45 seconds tops. If I just have one coon there, it's run out, dispatch that coon. While it's still moving, I'm rebaiting that trap, getting put in the ground, carrying that coon back to the truck. The tinfoil thing works, but, for me to cover the ground that I am, it's kind of like the people that, they stick coon grabbers in dog proofs, or that really doll up a pocket set and they put like a fake crawdad speared in the back or something. I just don't have the time for that. I've got so much ground to cover and fast. Yeah, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work. If I had 20 traps out, yeah, absolutely go for it. But I've got, I got to keep moving, and speed and repetition, they go hand in hand. I'm nowhere near the level of some of these guys here in Iowa, how they trap or used to trap. I know a lot of those guys caught 2,000 coon in a year, 2,000 coon in November alone. And, it's all about the same set, repetition, in and out of the truck in 30 seconds or less. It was just crazy. Twinsville 420. Okay. You got nominated as a Santa too, huh? I know Possum did up there in Northwest Iowa. I'll have to look up, see who you were, the first one to post it. Samuel, Evan, all I'm using is a 177 air rifle, 1,200 feet per second. That's it. Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, I run, November, it's big, especially that first week before things get too much of a mess. I'm upwards close to, I think this year was 350 or 375 traps first day. It was a lot. I mean, it was a crazy lot. And you've got to keep it simple and quick. That's another reason why I avoid the water early season, guys. If I go down one of those embankments with all the erosion rock, 30 feet down, by the time I get down there and shoot a couple, 2 or 3 coon, which there is fur down there. There's coon, there's muskrat, there's mink, there's coyotes. I mean, everything runs underneath those bridges. But by the time I carry them back to the truck, I am beat. Like, I need a full 20 minutes to recover. But I don't have 20 minutes. I'm going to have about 200 yards until the next trap. So I'd rather set 10 or 15 of those spots where I'm taking 2 steps down in the ditch, getting the animal and coming to the truck, versus one of those big deep suckers. And I'm not a small guy. Like I said, I was 240 pounds start of the season, so I can't afford to have that much energy exerted on 2 coon or 3 coon or whatever I get. Hey, thanks, Kellen. You like the flushing skinning video? Good. I hope a lot of people got some knowledge and insight on that a little better. I don't know how long you could say it'd take me to get 20 traps down. It depends, Location is everything. I've got certain spots where I could probably have 20 traps within a quarter mile. There's spots where 20 traps would cover 3 miles. And there's so many variables in that. It's tough. And dog proofs are so much quicker with speed. 220s. If I catch a coon in a 220 or something, I said, I try to be back in the truck in 45 seconds or less. If I get a coon in a 220, that gets pushed to about a minute and a half probably. By the time I get down there, take the coon out of a 220, and then I have to brush in, the springs to make it look good with my muskrat stabilizer system. They tend to take a little while too, so. Hey, thanks, Kirsch. I appreciate it. Yeah, that skinning, if anybody else is having issues with it, let me know. All right. Hold on a second, guys. Hey, honey. Yeah. Did you kill the hot spot?
I just need to go potty.
You don't need to?
I want to stay with you.
No, I'm still on.
Okay.
What's wrong?
Well, they're saying they're having troubles with it cutting in and out again.
I'm not using the internet. Chris, you have to go potty or no?
No.
All right, hold on, guys. Bear with me a second here. Hey, GFW. It's okay now?
You good?
I think we're good. Oh, yeah, everyone says it's good now. Sorry, guys, I don't know what happened, but this is my beautiful wife again. She's going to show her beautiful face again. The heart and soul of this whole operation, guys. Yeah, I'm nervous for this year, but... Nick Brooks, how many times I left the air rifle in the ditch? Honestly, probably not that many. How many times I left 220 setters or the trowel? Oh man, a lot. Actually, David Brooks, that's a good thing I want to talk about too. Glad you brought that up. Guys, Congress is trying to pass a bill. It's 8828, Bill 8828. Trying to ban all leg holds and conibear traps across the country. The ones of you that are of age, we need to reach out to our legislators. I'm trying not to be all political here, but this just drives me crazy. We're losing our battle as far as our fight for our trapping and hunting rights. They're trying to take that from us. We need to stick together and fight this for sure. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, my wife is very understanding. She is an amazing person. If it wasn't for her, none of this would be possible. Oh, absolutely, Kellen. Absolutely. Yeah, to touch back on that 8828, basically, don't quote me on this, but they're calling it a Companion Animal Protection Act, which is their idea to get people to group together to say, oh, they're worried about dogs or their cats. Basically, it's a nice way to get other people involved in agreeing with them to ban all conibear and leg hold traps. This is definitely something we have to fight, guys. Every year we're fighting stuff like this, whether we know it or not. The NTA, the NRA, everything, they're fighting for our rights to do this stuff. So we definitely need to stick up, and help out any way we can. Actually, what they comment on here about leaving stuff in the ditch, Kellen, a few years ago I caught myself in my own 220 conibear, and I'll tell you what, that was an eye-opener for how quick those suckers go off. I caught myself right on the tip of the toes, forgot it was there because I left my 220 setters there when I caught a coon. Came back to the spot, running down the ditch, like, hey, there they are, they're right there, and I ran down the ditch like a fool and caught myself right across the tip of the toes in 220. That hurt. No, I don't boil any traps, Samuel. Everything I do is Formula One. That's pretty much everything I do. Logan, get a hold of any basically government official, your legislators, congressmen or women, and view, through email, through phone calls. This is the thing that I used to not worry about so much, but as I've gotten bigger in the trapping community, I realize how important this stuff is. We've got to reach out, and we've got to show that there are people against this bill. Yeah, Charles, I'm part of the NTA and the Iowa Trapper Association. Yeah, GFWA, you're probably right, but I refuse to make this a political debate if there is anybody that's, for our new president or whatnot. It's just, that's not why I do this stuff. I get on here to help with trapping and stuff and show any points or, knowledge I can share and to pick up some knowledge from you guys. I'm not going to get into the whole Trump Biden thing. That's just not what this is here for. So is anybody else interested in me if I do a beaver line this spring and video it? I'm really thinking hard about it. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. I'm not sure how many. I think probably 50 is the number I'm looking for, but I'm going to try and do it in a week, which around here is pretty tough to do. Oh yeah, Kellen, there's a few trapping channels around. 330 Maniac, Trapper J, No Name Trapper. There's a bunch of guys around here. Not really around here, but I'd say the Midwest that have trapping channels. Since you're pretty young, I would probably ask your parents about them first. Some of them might be a little more crude than others, but they're very educational nonetheless. Traps about catching coyotes. Best thing I can come up with is the guy that taught me, don't overthink it. There's so much worry about scent control and this has to be perfect, this and that. Yeah, scent control is important, but just go out there and set the trap. Don't overthink it. I got one of my best mentors up in northwest Iowa, around the Cherokee area. He's a coyote trapper. He used to be a phenomenal coon trapper, but he got out of that and went to coyotes. And he racks up 50 to 60 a year. He's a little behind this year. I think he's at like 45 or something like that right now. But I learned so much from that man. I'm not going to put his name on here, but his whole family is just an amazing family. But I learned so much at the trapping conventions because of him. He was already in what I would call I kind of refer to him as the elite trappers. There's always kind of a powwow during the trapping convention of people that get together and talk trapping and stuff and just have a good time, have a few beers. And I was just that guy that showed up, didn't know anybody there, bought my stuff, watched some demos and learned a few things. He brought me into that group of people, and I was just like a sponge. I sat there. If I had a pad and paper and pen, oh man, that would have been awesome. I would have taken in so many notes, and I've learned so much from people like that. Oh, you're going, okay. You're trapping them in the winter and be hunting them. There's a lot of people around here that call coyotes. I've never done that. Like I said earlier, my wife got me a Fox Pro that I still got to try, but I think it'd be a good time. Eric, you're 100% right, man. This country was literally founded on trappers. The beaver trappers, I mean, they kind of pioneered the whole country. It's crazy, but that's just kind of the world we live in anymore. It's Aaron Nealon, you must know who I'm talking about then. No, GFWA. We in Iowa, it's only shotguns, and they've just recently allowed like the 350 and 450 Bushmaster and stuff like that. No high powers at all. Yeah, Grant. Fur prices they're tough. Here's the best advice I could give there. Go out and research and find yourself markets for other things than just the fur. I told this before, but I have a skull market. I have a penis bone market. I have like a tail market. If when I'm flushing a coon, I rip the tail off, I have a market for that. There's markets for all kinds of things other than just the fur. Yeah, fur market's trash. But, I'm still going to come out ahead this year because of all my other markets that I have. Yeah, D. Walker, that's tough. I'm so glad we have road trapping because private ground would be hard to get, especially around here with all the big deer hunters. It's pretty tough, A lot of people don't let you on their ground till after January 10th. Once deer hunting's done, if they allow you. Well, by then, the bulk of your coon and stuff like that, their movement's pretty well done. Yeah, Paul, I just talked about 8828. Yep, we got to stick together, guys, and fight this. Nick, that's something that's up in the air. You're not going to get into trapping just for a hobby, but you're not going to get into it just for money. This is one thing I actually Groenwold posted here the other day, talking about where hobby meets business. And as a trapper, you're so much of a hobby person, but you're also so much of a business person. Whether you're 90% hobby, 10% business, or 90% business, 10% hobby, or anywhere in between, you're going to be some of both. No matter what. I mean, you can't tell me that you're going to catch some furs and not even wonder what the prices are and just throw them in a ditch. You want to sell them. You want to make some money. So even if you're 5% or 2% business, you are business. I would consider my line probably like a 70% business, 30% hobby. I love doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, I'm making decent money at it. I'm going to make enough money between last year and this year that I should be able to pay off my wife's 2017 Escape. So, there's money to be made, but people have to dig deep and really push hard and find markets for what they're doing. Yeah, GFWA, there's coyotes everywhere. I mean, we get them out here. Matter of fact, they wake us up at night. I live out here in the country, and coyotes are thick. Man, they're thick. Hey, Gary. Yeah, that's, I'm a animal damage control for the state of Iowa, not a federal one, but, I do a little bit of that on the side. I'm a full-time forklift driver during the day at a grocery chain, but I I still do a fair amount of animal damage control in the summer of coons getting in garages or attics or groundhogs under a porch or stuff like that. Oh, for sure, Michael. Yeah, you've got to be dedicated to it. And, that's kind of falls into the whole category of drive, like I talk about. You've got to have the drive. You got to push yourself. How hard are you going to push yourself versus the other guy? That's up to your discretion. How much do you want to push? It all comes down to the individual. What do you want out of this? Are you looking for a certain number or a certain percentage of catches? Everyone has a different what they want to come out of this. Rarest animal that I've caught would probably be the badger. If you'd asked me that question 8 years ago, I'd say bobcat. But there's more bobcats here in central Iowa than coyotes probably. I mean, they are so thick anymore. I wish the DNR would just open up a season on them because they are absolutely everywhere. But yeah, we don't have a whole lot of badgers around here. There's a lot more up north. I know northwestern Iowa, they got quite a few, but nothing much down here. That don't surprise me, GFWA. That they are a mean animal. I mean, luckily all the badgers that I've caught have been dead on arrival, but they just got caught in my 220 coon trails. But yeah, I don't know what I'd do if I saw one alive. I mean, granted I'll have the tools to dispatch them, but still that'd be a pretty intense deal, I'm sure. I'd much rather come up on a bobcat alive than a badger. Which I've caught a few bobcats in footholds. They get caught in my coyote sets quite a bit. When I did a lot of coyote private trapping here the last couple years and didn't have great success with that, but I caught quite a few bobcats. So. Oh, you made a video for me? Awesome. I'll check it out here in a little bit. So I need a refill, fellas, so I'll be right back. Apparently we are out of rum, so beer it is. Oh, that would be tough. Yeah, Christmas right around the corner, everybody. I mean, heck. That's what, 5 days away? 6? We're going to have this line out right until Christmas Eve. Matter of fact, I'm going to push it out even harder on Monday. I got Monday off, and I got Christmas Day off. So I got Monday off, set some pretty good steel, and Christmas Day I have off, but I'm pulling traps Christmas Eve before work. And then I'll probably be pretty much done. I might have a small work line out after Christmas Day until rut. When rut hits, that's when stuff's going to get real. I'm going to have to hit it extremely hard. I've got some areas I've set up just for this that I'm waiting to trap. I was hoping to be a lot higher number than where I'm at right now before I went there, but it is what it is. We just got to do the same. Logan, it's hard to say. Coon start rutting here, I would say from January 1st through the 1st of March. Technically. Basically, what I'm looking for is anytime after January 1 that we get a good warm spell. They kind of call it the January thaw, I guess you'd say. When we get days that are above freezing, or even, if we have a really cold snap that happens here all of a sudden, and say January 5th, we get temperatures that are 28 when every other day is a high of 8. That's when those coon are going to be running hard. They're running through the culverts. They're going through looking for strictly den locations. It's a whole different aspect of trapping, completely different. It's something that it's fun. It's completely different form of trapping, so you got to kind of be on your toes and know what to expect. But and you're only catching big coon. You're only catching 3x coon, 4x coon. All your little coon, they're denned up. They're not running. It's kind of like your little bucks. They're not really rutting as hard as the big ones because they know better. They're going to get their butt kicked. Have I ever trapped in the jungle? No, and I don't think I'd want to. That just sounds terrible. Alex, it's different. I mean, you got to look at whatever the front coming through is. In early November, a lot of times we'll have highs almost 65 degrees for a high. Early November. So if you get that, 65 for a high, say a low of 40, and then all of a sudden you get a day that's a high of 40 and a low of 28, they're going to move hard because it's a front coming through. It's changing. They're going to, go out and feed. At the same time, if you're consistently, say, around 10, 15 degrees for a high, say 0 for a low, and all of a sudden you get that day that's 35 for a high with 20 of a low, they're going to move the same way. Especially late season when they're rutting. It's just whenever that change of a system comes through, in my opinion anyway, that's what you're looking for. You have a bunch of steady weather and then all of a sudden that peak or that low, but at the same time you're not going to, if it's a low, if you're having highs of 15, low of 0, and then all of a sudden you get a high of 0 and a low of negative 12, they're not going to run. It's that front that's most, not convenient, what's the word I'm looking for? The one that's most apt to make them move, to make them look for food. When it's warmer out, that's going to be a cold snap. When it's cold, it's going to be a warm snap. And that's what you're looking for. So I'll be watching the weather real good here after Christmas. And hopefully it's not till about January 5th or so that we get a decent warm spell, but I'm going to try and take the week off work, and I'm going to hit it hard. It's just, I'm going to try to basically get 150, 180, maybe even 200 coon in a week. So it's going to be really, really hard. Okay, Michael, yeah. You're trying to hunt them on warm snap nights. Yeah, that's what you're looking for, especially right now on your warm nights. They're going to be moving. Props to you for hunting them too. There's not a lot of hunters around for them. The timbers used to be full of coon hounds opening up, especially on the weekends, and there's nothing anymore. I hate to say it, fellas, but we're kind of a dying breed. There's not a whole lot of us around anymore to go after these furs and hunt these predators and stuff like that. Nick Brooks, what are my thoughts on push-pull dog proofs? Totally personal preference. I hate them. I do so much trapping around houses. I cannot risk the chance of catching cats or a small dog. They call them dog proofs. They're not. They're dog resistant. If you get some kind of little Chihuahua dog or something in there and push pull, if their paw fits in there, yeah, you're in trouble. You're gonna catch it. Not that a dog proof would hurt it any, but you're still gonna get it caught and risk some bad exposure for us. I use pull only, and strictly for that reason of I want to minimize the chance of catching cats, and it almost makes your percentage of catching dogs a zero. So that's just a personal thing, though. I mean, by all means, do I think my coon catch would go up with them? There's a fair chance of that. Yeah, I won't say it wouldn't do it. So, Kellen, I just made a video last couple days here of me setting traps yesterday, and then today I caught that coon and the coyote. So there you go, Michael. Yeah, you're a true fur getter then. I've not much into the hunting of them. I would like to try calling them. I talked about that a little bit earlier. I think that would be a blast. That would be fun. Hey, Josh. Hey, you and the wife are watching the videos, huh? Hey, hope that roof's holding up. I got a buddy on here not too far from me. I just roofed his house for him this summer, so. Okay, Nick Brooks, I did not know that. He said, glad you said that. You can put a tablespoon of bait in there, otherwise you toe catch them. It's one of those things. I've honestly can't say I've used a lot of push pulls because I haven't. But just from using the pull onlys and knowing what I could possibly catch with the push pulls, I don't like them. And that's, I'm buying them, but, it's going to increase your non-target catches, even with possum and skunk, and I don't want that. Hey, thanks, Paul. Hope you have a good Christmas too, bud. Michael, you have a Heritage Arm 22 caliber pistol. Is that by any chance the model that has the 22 mag cylinder with it? I used to have one of those, and I love that. It's a great trapping gun. Hey, Josh, I was actually trapping. I went past your house today. Went out there doing some trapping down that road just to the, be the northeast of you there. Okay, Michael. Yeah, I know the gun you're talking about. Yeah, it's a good little gun. I love that gun. Matter of fact, I still have one. I want to switch to these pellet guns. I had no reason to use it anymore. I mean, I still have it, and I have fun shooting it here from time to time again, but I have no reason to carry it with me on the line anymore. Not saying you shouldn't by any means, but once I went to these pellet guns, now I can shoot legally within 200 feet of a house. It's quiet. It's just, it works really well for me. You sent her a little too hard, bud. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Hey, Josh, you got the wife's book. Good, yeah. For the people new to this, my wife, who's basically the heart and soul of this operation that allows me to trap, she wrote a book called The Traveler by Jennifer Deaver that's available on Amazon. If you ever want to show me any support, you buy her book. That would show me more support than anything you could probably say on here. She's definitely the backbone of this. She's the mom that takes care of the kids every weekend. On the evenings when I'm out in the shop, she's definitely the backbone of this. So I definitely got to give a shout out to her because this would not be possible. These videos wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for her. My side, hey, you're enjoying the videos? Hey, thanks, man. You're up in Canada. That's crazy. I never thought this series would reach that far. like I said before, I thought this was just going to be kind of a local thing to help some guys around here, but it's definitely blown up. Yeah. Oh, Jim. Jim McCombs. Oh, yeah. I already hit up a bunch of rats, bud. Not the one behind Josh's house, but yeah, I've caught a few rats, so. I still remember a pretty bad tree stand accident back there behind Josh's house, too. I'm sure you remember that one, too. You sent her a little too hard, bud. I'm not sure, Jim. I'm not sure how many copies she sold. I know a lot of guys on here have bought a few copies since I mentioned her in the last live, which I'm very thankful for. I appreciate all the support, guys. Michael, the book's available on Amazon. If you go to Amazon and type in Jennifer Deaver, The Traveler, it should pop up first thing. Matter of fact, I'll get a copy of it in here to show you what it looks like.
I haven't been able to be listening because I don't know who's doing it.
That's fine. Alright, guys, here's what her book looks like. If you find it on Amazon, The Traveler by Jennifer Deaver. Appreciate any support for that. That's my advertisement gig, I guess you could say. How is it trapping? Is it hard or is it hard? Is it easy? Boy, that's a loaded question. Depends where you're going after and how much effort you want to put into it. Pretty much just like anything in life, bud. Oh, sorry, Logan. There you go. Is that better? Josh McCombs. I don't bounce very well. Man, yeah, you and your brother were there that day. I ended up on the ground out of that tree stand. That was a pretty rough experience, but oh, Kevin Sanders. Damn. Hey, my side. You know, I really appreciate that comment. You know, you said you love listening to me explain things. It's almost like therapy. You explain things so well and have so much knowledge. Well, I don't have that much knowledge, but I try to go as in-depth as I can with everything I'm doing. You know, when I first started this out, there wasn't trappers on YouTube. There wasn't even a YouTube, really. There's hardly internet when I started doing this. So, I just, I want to take that learning curve out for as many people as I can, or at least my ideas on what I do, and people hopefully get something off of it. But I want to be as in-depth as I can. I've had a lot of comments on my skinning, fleshing video, how much they like that. I tried to point out all the things that when I learned how to skin stuff that nobody pointed out to me that I had to figure out on my own. So that's, I had to try that. I had to show what I was doing and the process of it. And it's a little hard to do, especially when you're just in the zone of skinning. Nope, stop, slow down, so you can see what I'm doing, this and that. If I caught a wolf, yeah, I'd probably have to give DNR a call because technically they are illegal to catch here in Iowa. I think that and the civet cat, or basically the spotted skunk, are illegal in Iowa. However, if I did catch a mountain lion, I don't think we'd have to be calling the DNR. I think the call would actually probably go to the taxidermist. Hey, thanks, David. You have a good night and have a good Christmas, bud. I appreciate you stopping by tonight. Starting a wolf hunt in 2021. Jesse's Homestead Adventures. Hey, you like that one? I got a lot better one in the other room that actually makes this one look small, but I haven't. I'd probably end up dropping this really fancy computer if I tried to go in there, and then my wife would kill me, and I'd end up in the carcass pit. So that's probably not a good idea to show you that one. Coon meat. I don't do anything with it. I harvest a lot of stuff off of the coon. I've got a penis bone market, a skull market, a claw market for certain things. There's a tail market for anything I rip the tails off of or don't sell it with the hide. There's several different things. And that's why I tell people, you gotta research your markets, guys. So many guys have told me, oh, why are you doing this? It's pointless. You're not going to make any money. I'm not going to go into too much detail, guys, but I'm going to make some money this year. Is it going to be great? No. Is it worth quitting my job? Absolutely not. But I'm going to make some money. So I would strongly encourage people to do their research. I started talking to establish my markets for this year in last April. Started working with buyers of different parts and negotiating and stuff like that. Hey, Chip, wild about being outdoors. I appreciate it. Jesse's Homestead Adventures. Your son set his first traps today. How many did you end up setting out, bud? Oh, man. Jimmy, if you catch an Arctic wolf, I will pay to have you send that sucker to me one way or another. That would be awesome. Well, you know what, Jesse? I hope he ends up catching a couple coon tomorrow. At least one. We got to get our youth involved. That's what we've got to do. I hate to say it, but we're kind of a dying breed. There's not many of us left. There's not a whole lot of youth getting involved, and anything we can do to get more people involved, the better off we're going to be, especially with all the bills they're trying to pass right now. I'm not sure, Michael. That I've heard talks of people with meat market, but I know for human consumption, technically it's illegal out here. I think there's some people that are buying them for like a bait. I don't know if it's bait station for bears or what, but and you're right, my side. We got to stick together. It's just, if you look at the numbers statistically, there's a lot fewer of us than there used to be. A lot of that due to the poor fur market. But it's just one of those things, we've got to stick together. We've got to team up. It seems like I hate to say it, but there's a lot of people on, not necessarily here, but on trapping pages, I see it a lot of people bashing other trappers or just outdoorsmen in general. Oh, that deer wasn't big enough. You should have let it go another year. That was dumb. Or why do you trap this animal? There's no money in it. And it shouldn't be like that. We should all stick together and support each other, and we'd be a heck of a lot stronger. Oh yeah, David. I'll do a barn picture for sure. Actually, I'll try and find it on my phone. I got a couple pictures on here from years past. If I can get them pulled up, I will. But I've had some pretty good ones. I didn't get my 1,082 last year, which is pretty frustrating. I think this is really going to be hard to tell, but I think this is my 500 year, which is really, really going to be difficult to see. But that was a pretty good year. I know I got my 714 on here. Well, this would have been before my 512, or maybe this was my 512, but there's another fur picture with me and Dad when he used to run with me quite a bit. Boy, here's one from the old days. This was a long time ago. This is when I first started longline, and I think this was like 160, and it's not even the full picture of it, but I had some pretty good Amish facial hair going on there, so. Yeah, you're right, GFWA. You know, trappers were everywhere, but no one liked to share their knowledge as much as they do now. At least in my opinion. You know, we gotta keep sharing stuff. You know, grow together. That's the only way this stuff's gonna survive. Hey, my side. I guess I haven't been on there for a lot. I am on the Trapperman forums. I've kind of kept my identity anonymous on there. I really don't know why, but I have. I noticed somebody shared my season on the I think it's the trapping only section, but I haven't been on there for probably a week and a half, 2 weeks now. So, Logan, just ask around. You know, you'd be surprised that all my connections like that have been literally face-to-face connections, talking to fur buyers. Fur buyers be a great place to start. Say, hey, do you have anywhere that would be interested in skulls or bones or claws? That's kind of how I started, and it just kind of blossomed into, now I got several outlets. And respectfully, no, I'm not going to share any of my markets just for the fact they're limited. It would be kind of dumb in a standpoint for me to tell you where I'm sending 100 coon skulls just for you to undercut me for 20 cents or something like that. It's nothing personal. It's just, but I know there are plenty of markets out there because I've, been in contact with several, and I've got kind of contracts with a few of them. But it's just one of those things, you got to do your homework before season as much as you do actually trapping. Wow, from Saskatchewan, Team Ambush. That's a long ways. That's awesome. Thanks. I appreciate it. Okay, so Chip Wild about being outdoors. Can you please explain the fish stick set? It's a very simple concept. I take a T-post, half-inch rebar, just a trap stake basically, with a little T right here. Up here goes a chunk of fish speared on top, and you put a 1.5 under the water below it. Here in Iowa, there's an exposed bait law. Anywhere where I'm at cannot be exposed from land or water. Most of the state is just land, but for me, it's with water too. So I put like a grass covering. I'll take a bunch of grass, get it wet, put it around the trap stake above the fish, and tie it in a knot. And that is good enough, according to my DNR, to be not exposed, technically. So they say it works really well late season. We're about to find out, because I've never had great success with it early season. Trial test for me. I'm not real familiar with it, but late season, when I can start getting those timber-to-timber trails and be back on land, I'll be a lot better off. I struggle hard with the water trapping. It's pretty difficult for me. I don't know why this is cutting out. Yeah, my wife hasn't. She even told me she's not getting on her phone on the internet, so this doesn't cut out for me. But yeah, Wesley Reed, you got an important question. What is it, bud? See if I can't find the picture of that 714 season that I had here. Oh, here we go, guys. I actually found it for you. That season I was talking about earlier, this was 2 years ago, my trapping season. This was 714. That would have been 2 years ago. Last year was 1,082. So that was all the fur handling as far as flushing and stuff. That was all me. That year I did hire a skinner as well. Last year when I caught 1,082, I did all the skinning as well, and that was tough. It was a pretty brutal year. Chip, all my anchors that I'm using are pogos. Everything I run is pogos. Everything except my snares are on pogo anchors. My footholds, my dog proofs, my 220s, my 330s, everything is on pogos. Nothing is rebar anymore. I've just switched to it. It's just a system that's quick and easy for me. It's just something that I prefer. All my snares are on what I call kill poles, and it's just those work slick for me. I've actually gone to running 2 kill poles on my snares, one with the snare on it and one off to the side of the trail for an entanglement. Works pretty good. You're in Glenwood, Iowa. Not sure where that's at, Wesley, from here. I've heard of it for sure. Definitely heard of it. I don't think you're too crazy far from me. You're managed land trapping. You know, I won't say I would take the raccoons because you're probably too far from me and I'm too busy, but I appreciate the offer, bud. Z&G Outdoors. Yeah, I get the anchors back up. I got a trap puller, a pogo puller specifically, that I've got. Basically, it's a long, probably 1.5 inch square tubing. On the bottom side, it's got a flat bar underneath the tube for leverage so it doesn't sink into the mud. And about right here, there's a hook that I hook my cable in, and I can just lift it and pry it out of the ground. Works really, really slick. Before that, I tried pulling them using my back, just about killed me. And then I'd have to start just cutting cables and stuff. It was kind of a mess. Well, guys, I think we're about ready to wrap it up now. You know, it's only 9 o'clock, but tomorrow morning, to run the line that I got, I'm probably setting my alarm for 2:30. I think so I'm doing. So hopefully I have some good footage to show you tomorrow. You know, it is what it is. It's a tough time right now, but late season we're going to hit it really good. But right now I'm going to call tonight. We got to get those coon numbers coming back in. One way or another, I'm going to find a way. We're going to start pushing again. We're going to get to our 1,000. Like I've preached the whole time, it's all about the drive. You just got to push. You got to push hard. And that's what we're going to do. You know, it's really difficult once I go back to working full time like I am now. Getting 40 to 50 hours a week. It's a struggle trying to trap, to work, and to still care for a family. So it's a struggle, but we're going to get through it. We're going to push through, and we're either going to get to 1,000 coon, or I'm not going to say die trying, but we're going to give it our all. If we fall short, you know, there's a few things I look back on that I should have pushed harder on early season that I know I lost some coon on, but that's part of it. You know, hindsight's always 20/20. It is what it is. We're going to push through and going to keep trying. All right, guys. I really do appreciate all support. You know, you guys are the whole reason that I'm still pushing for this. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for everybody on here pushing me and motivating me, I'd probably be done right now until late season. And whatever I caught. But with all the positive feedback and even the negative feedback of people telling me that it's pointless or stupid, that just drives me harder. So I'm just gonna keep going, and you know, if we don't get to 1,000, you know, at least I can look back and think, you know, there's a few things I could have done differently, but overall I gave it my all. I tried my hardest. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you soon. We'll do another live here down the road. Probably be, I don't know, mid-January or so. But we're going to be running that line, a small line here. Well, a decent line right now, but get a small work line going next week after Christmas. And then come rut, we're going to hit it hard. And we're going to hopefully really, really hammer some coon numbers. That's my hopes, my expectations, and we'll see. You know, things can change on a dime, and you got to be willing to adapt and overcome no matter what you're doing. But it is what it is. You just gotta keep driving and keep pushing. So we've got the drive, and we're gonna keep pushing, guys. So thanks again. I appreciate all the support over this last 2 months. It's been a grind, and I appreciate you guys sticking with me and growing the page. So I'll get with you guys soon again. If you have any questions or anything, look up my Facebook, Iowa Trapper. It's got my same profile picture that this page does. Shoot me a message. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and anything, what's going on. I'm doing my best here, guys. I'm trying to show you what I do and what I do on my line. Hopefully it works and helps you guys on your line. And if it doesn't, I apologize, but if you guys can pick up one little trick or feature that works for you, that's all that matters to me. If you guys can pick up one thing that go, wow, I tried that and that worked great, perfect. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to learn as well as teach the few things that I know. I'm not a professional, guys. I have a family. I have a full-time job outside of this. I'm just trying to show you guys that you do not need to be someone that traps full-time for a living or sells baits or lures to put up some numbers. You don't have to do that. A lot of guys think you're single or jobless if you're putting up 1,000 coon or 2,000 coon. And I'm here to prove you guys different. Prove those people that you can be the average dad, the husband, the full-time employee. It is what it is, and we're gonna push through it, and we're gonna push hard, and we're gonna hit our number, So anyway, thanks guys, I appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys